Hi, my name is Terry Olale. I'm an author and welcome to Meet the HR.
Amazing, guys. You remember last episode, we were here with the dad of Jambo Olale, and now we're here with Terry. And I can tell you there's so much in store for us, for those people who want to be others, or upcoming others, or someone who has an idea that has been trying to put it into paper, but you don't know where to get started. This is the episode for you. So tag along with us and get to know what it takes to be an author. So tell us, Terry, how did you know that you can write a book? Where did it start?
Thank you for that question. Writing came to me in a lot of different ways. As my father mentioned, my mom and my dad are journalists. So I grew up definitely being a witness to their career, and that had a part to play. Towards the end of my high school years, I fell in love with the bookstore, and I fell in love with books at the bookstore. I would read Mariam Williamson, Paulo Coelho, and reading Paulo Coelho was definitely one of the experiences that made me feel that being a writer is a path I want to take. I have read John Grisham, and I continue to make reading a habit, and I encourage everyone out there to read as well. It is a very, very healthy habit. And I've read Dan Brown. So what inspired me to be a writer was I fell in love with the craft of writing, with Paulo Coelho, the beauty of his words. I love poetry, wisdom in books. But for my own self, I actually wanted to be a lawyer when I was younger. But when I was in university, I thought, let me take some creative writing classes. I was taking political science classes, and I fell in love with the whole discipline. So all in all, I wanted to become a writer because I fell in love with the craft. Yes.
Okay. And obviously your parents were okay with it, having that they had the background of journalism. So they obviously appreciated you taking down that path. Now, would you say that it's important for someone who wants to be an author to have the backing of, let's say, like going to school and studying anything to do with literature? Or if you're passionate and take on the art of reading, you can catch on and just start writing?
Yes. In my A-levels, I did literature. So that must have had something to do with it. We studied Shakespeare, we studied different poems. And in my O-levels, I did literature as well. And I scored pretty highly in my exams, I thank God. So I think in my journey, it was something God was guiding me to the point where in university I was interested in the creative writing courses. So with writing, what I can say, going to school and taking up literature or creative writing really helps, because when you embark on the journey, you'll have to be very professional. It requires a lot of skill. You can imagine putting a book together. It takes craft, it takes thought. You have to really think through it, and you have to have discipline to be able to see the whole book through. You can imagine 300 pages of a book, 200 pages, writing, the concentration that is required. But you also need support from your network and your family, which I thank God I had support from those who loved me. When you reach the point of wanting to publish a book, the whole process of publishing, you need support. So I'll say you require skill and support from your network.
Amazing. So this is your first book ever?
Yes.
Can you tell us more about the book and what it entails?
So here is my book. It's called Victors. This is my first novel. The book follows a character called Frank. It is interesting as a writer how the creative process and how I came up with the character. He goes on a journey throughout the book, and the book follows him. He grapples with issues of his world. He thinks about negative things in his world that he's thought of. The book is actually set in a different galaxy than the one we're in, Earth. It's set in Andromeda Galaxy, and he goes to a school called Victus there. That's why the book is called Victus. Victus is a school in Andromeda Galaxy where his people go to. He's a story skipper, which means he comes from the lineage of people who they were entrusted with the responsibility of storytelling, which is interesting. My background,
storytelling,
my background with my family, journalism and storytelling, and how I came up with it. In his world, there are other people. There are other, I call them beings of the cosmos. So they're called skeppers, and they're those who were entrusted with stories. They're those who were entrusted with beauty, who they work in art, and they're those who are entrusted with different disciplines, I can say. So as I was writing, I was inspired. I was graduating university, so it was my way of also archiving school. And I looked at school and the different disciplines, and I was like, I need to archive these. And so the people are inspired by the different disciplines of school, art, literature with stories. And Frank goes on a journey. There's a competition in his school. As I mentioned, the school is Victus, and the competition is to come up with solutions to the problems of his world. So he links up with his friends who are other skeppers. As I said, it is inspired by different disciplines. So the other skeppers, they come from lineages of people who are entrusted with beauty. So they work in art. They're entrusted with physics. They work in physics. And they were entrusted with wisdom. So they work in wisdom. And they come together and they together talk about the problems of the world and solutions to the world. And the competition, they end up, it was taking place now in Andromeda Galaxy. So in this book, I create this world in Andromeda Galaxy, and there's a parliament. It's called Greyana Parliament, and that's where the competition was taking place. So they have many meetings, and then after the meeting, they eventually give a presentation at the Greyana Parliament about the solutions to their world, and they win the competition. And there are sustainable development themes in the book. Sustainable development has been very close to my heart. At university, I did also specialize in it, and they also communicate that moving forward sustainably is important. So that's a sneak peek of what the book is about.
Amazing. From where I'm seated, I can tell that it's a very interesting book, and having to sit and coming up with a book that is out of this world, so you have to majorly rely on your creativity so that you can bring it into action, is actually amazing. Wow, guys, if being an author is the path for you, stick around for this, because we're learning so much here from Terry. Now, in order for you, just like you said before, in order for you to like sit down and write as an author, you require a lot of concentration, a lot of effort to put 300 pages into one book. Now, is it true, there's this notion that most authors are introverts? How true is that?
Introvert, I think with the craft, I can say you have to be very strong as an individual, because as opposed to other jobs, let's say being a waiter, you go to work, there's a team, there's a boss, there are other waiters. As an author, later on you meet the publisher and the editors, but as you sit down and write the book by yourself, it's a very individual journey. It requires a lot of, you have to be okay with solitude. So introvert, I don't know if I can say introvert. You can be extroverted. You can have friends. And I think it's important as an author to intentionally go out and seek communities you can be a part of, because definitely it can be a lonely journey, because you can imagine there are people Monday to Friday, they're in their 9 to 5, and you have colleagues. But with authorship, you can have Monday to Friday, you're on your desk,
you just
and
your computer,
your creativity, and as a Christian, maybe you're with your God. But I don't know about introvert. You can be an extrovert by intentionally seeking out different communities. Like at church, I'm a Sunday school teacher.
Wow,
so
amazing.
I have the Sunday school teachers community. I'm in the choir as well. And there are other communities I intentionally seek out to have in my life. Yes.
Again, because too much solitude is not good, because
Yes.
as human beings, we are social beings. You need to be in a setup where there are people who can understand you, can interact with people. Okay, and while writing, have you ever experienced writer's block, and how did you deal with it?
I can say writing is a journey.
Yeah.
I've had a writer's block, and many people talk about it. I can say maybe there's some truth to it.
Yeah.
But I think for me, in my experience, I've experienced writing as a journey. Every day it's different.
Yeah.
There's when you have inspiration, you have encouragement. There's when you're tired and you need to rest.
Yeah.
It takes up a lot of someone. You know, there are those who are in construction work and they work with their hands.
Yeah.
Writing takes a lot of mental and emotional energy.
Yeah.
So I think maybe I can say that. Yes.
Okay, amazing, guys. This is beautiful right here. Remember, we are talking to Terry, who is an author, and she has written a very beautiful book known as Victors that features another world altogether. And the way she's written it so intentionally, such that you can follow through with the story and actually understand what she was trying to put across. So, if you're looking forward to hearing more, don't go too far. We're going for a very, very short break right here. Meet the HR, but stick around for more. So don't touch that dial.